Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive? Today, we're going to be exploring Hindu mythology.
The Mahabharata, to be precise.
Oh, yeah. We're talking the epic stuff.
Mm.
Heroes, gods, the whole shebang.
And some pretty heavy philosophical dilemmas, too.
For sure. We're going to be focusing on one particular story today about one of the Pandava brothers, Sahadeva.
It's about a rather unusual request from his father, King Pandu, right on his deathbed.
Okay, so think knowledge, think a bit of the supernatural, and definitely a touch of the divine Krishna.
It's a story that really gets you thinking about the burden of knowledge, destiny versus free will, that sort of thing.
Exactly. So King Pandu, right, he's on his deathbed, and he asks his 5 sons to do something pretty unexpected.
He asked them to eat his brain.
Yep, you heard that right. Eat his brain.
Now, I know that sounds pretty shocking to modern ears.
It's definitely not your typical inheritance.
But in ancient times, there was this belief that you could absorb someone's essence, their knowledge, by consuming a part of them.
Especially the brain, right?
Exactly. It was seen as the seat of wisdom and consciousness.
So Pandu wanted his sons to inherit his wisdom, his knowledge, by literally consuming his brain.
Makes you wonder what kind of wisdom he had to think that was a good idea.
Right. So of all the brothers, only Sahadeva actually goes through with it.
Which tells you a lot about his character.
Yeah, what do you think that says about him?
Well, Sahadeva was known for his obedience.
A dutiful son.
Always striving to fulfill his duty, even if it meant doing something that others might find repulsive.
Maybe he was also a bit curious, right? I mean, who wouldn't be at least a little curious about what their dad's brain tastes like?
Perhaps. But that decision to eat his father's brain, well, it sets off a wild chain of events.
It's like opening Pandora's box.
Before Sahadeva can finish the whole brain, though, he stopped.
By Krishna.
But not before Sahadeva had already eaten the first piece.
And that's where things get really interesting.
That first bite, it grants Sahadeva knowledge of the past, everything that has ever happened.
Whoa. Imagine having all of history at your fingertips.
The second bite gives him knowledge of the present, a complete understanding of the world as it is.
That's incredible. So he's basically got this panoramic view of time, right? The past, the present.
And if he had eaten that third piece, he would have gained knowledge of the future.
He would have become a Trikaldarshi, right? A seer who can see all 3 aspects of time.
Precisely. Now, put this in the context of the Mahabharata, this epic tale of war and dharma.
We're talking about the Kurukshetra war, right? That massive conflict that forms the heart of the Mahabharata.
Exactly. A war where brothers fight against brothers, where the very concept of righteous conduct is tested.
And Sahadeva could potentially know the outcome of this war, the fate of everyone involved.
It's a heavy burden to bear, the weight of foreknowledge.
So Krishna intervenes. He knows the potential chaos that could result from Sahadeva's knowledge of the future.
He places a curse on Sahadeva, forbids him from revealing the future to anyone.
Talk about a catch-22. He's got this incredible gift, this knowledge, but he can't use it to warn anyone or change the course of events.
It raises all sorts of questions, doesn't it, about destiny and free will.
Is Krishna trying to protect Sahadeva? Or is he protecting the world from the potential consequences of knowing the future?
And what about Sahadeva himself? How does he cope with this burden of knowledge?
It's got to be tough. Knowing what's going to happen, but being unable to do anything about it.
It makes you think about the nature of knowledge itself, doesn't it?
Yeah. Is knowledge always a good thing? Or can it sometimes be a burden?
Think about it. If you knew exactly what was going to happen in your life, would you really want to know?
Tough question. And this story reminds me of another character in the Mahabharata, Bhishma.
Ah, yes. The grandsire.
He also has knowledge of the future, right? But he's bound by oaths and can't fully act on his knowledge.
It adds another layer of tragedy to the epic. These characters, burdened by their foresight, forced to watch events unfold, knowing the tragic consequences.
So both Bhishma and Sahadeva are wrestling with the same dilemma, knowledge versus action.
And it's a dilemma that resonates with us even today. We make choices every day based on limited knowledge. We grapple with uncertainty.
We try to control our destinies, but sometimes it feels like we're at the mercy of forces beyond our control.
And this ancient story, this tale of Sahadeva and his forbidden knowledge, it offers us a lens through which we can examine our own lives.
Our own struggles with choice, with fate, with the limits of our understanding.
It invites us to ask ourselves, what would we do if we were in Sahadeva's shoes?
Would we try to change the course of events, even knowing the potential risks?
Or would we accept the path laid out before us, trusting that everything happens for a reason?
These are questions that have no easy answers, but they're questions worth asking.
And the Mahabharata, with its rich tapestry of stories and characters, offers a treasure trove of wisdom and insights for anyone seeking to explore these timeless questions.
So there you have it, a deep dive into the story of Sahadeva, the Pandava brother, who inherited the burden of knowledge.
A story that challenges us to think about the nature of knowledge, destiny, and the choices we make in the face of the unknown.
If this story piqued your interest, definitely check out the Mahabharata. There's so much to discover.
It's an epic for the ages.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking the wisdom that lies hidden within these ancient tales.
Bye, everyone.
See